Hello and welcome to the presentation on how to overcome adversity. My name is Tanya Unkovich and it's my pleasure to be here with you today as I take you through the 5 steps on how to come back even stronger after life has knocked you down. Now, who is this presentation for? Well, it is for anyone who has been through a major adversity in their life, or perhaps you are going through it now. For example, it could be the current condition in the world that is actually causing you incredible stress in your personal and your business life. It may be that your relationship is going through a very difficult time at the moment, or perhaps you have gone through a major loss in your life. Adversity shows up in many ways, and as a result, you are overwhelmed, you become stuck in life. So, if you are worried that at the moment your life feels out of control right now and you do not know how to move forward, then this presentation is for you. Now, during the next 45 minutes, these are some of the things that I'm going to be covering for you on how you can now move forward with your life. Firstly, I'm going to go over how you can now get absolute clarity on what it is that you really want in your life, and also why you want it. That is so important. And then I'm going to talk about how you can now start taking the right steps to move forward, instead of just chopping and changing and throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that something sticks. I'm also going to talk about how you are now going to be able to manage your feelings, your emotions, and no longer be held back or driven by those feelings such as extreme loneliness, anxiety, maybe overwhelm about your future, maybe it's low self-worth, or simply fear and uncertainty about where you are going in your life. I'm also going to talk about how you can now start taking care of your body more, getting back in control of your health. For example, if you are using food or alcohol or any other substances to cope at this time in your life, I'm going to talk about how you can now get a body that you are proud of and have good health, even if you have tried to do this many times before. I'm also going to talk about how you can now improve your relationships. Maybe it is that you want to find love again after this recent loss. You are ready, but you just do not know how to be yourself. Well, I'm going to talk about how you can now show up and be your true, authentic self, and now make better choices in the area of love. I'm also going to talk about how you can now get back in control of your finances again, and also your career, your professional life. I'm also going to talk about how now you can make meaning of this experience, this adversity in your life, and let it be fuel that will drive you forward. Perhaps it can help you find a new purpose in your life so that you can now go forward and lead the way for others to be better in their life. I'm also going to talk about how you can now finally have the freedom to be you. My promise to you during this presentation is that I'm going to go through the process on how you can now regain control of your life again, come back even stronger after this adversity, and now have a clear direction on exactly what it is that you want in your life, and get excited about it, and now finally live a life of fulfillment again. Before I do this, however, I just want to check in and see if you relate to any of these, to see if any of these sound like you right now in your life. Are you struggling with fear and overwhelm because of this level of uncertainty about your future? Has your confidence and motivation now been affected to the point by this adversity where you don't want to go out anymore? You're starting to isolate yourself, stay at home, not even get out and about with your friends like you once used to. Are you noticing that your physical health is being affected? Do you find that you are in your aloneness, overeating, drinking too much? You're not moving, you're not doing the exercise that you once used to, so you're feeling sluggish and unhealthy. Are you finding that you're not practicing some of the normal daily self-care that you once used to, and you're just not liking the direction that you're going in? You're not feeling healthy at all in some way. Do you find that you are no longer trusting yourself? You don't trust yourself to make any of these big decisions that you know need to be made, especially those that regard your future, those that regard your finances, those that regard your career, even decisions when it comes to relationships. You just do not trust yourself anymore to make these decisions. So, in a way, you're not making any decisions and you're remaining stuck. Do you find that your relationships are being affected? Maybe it's your professional relationships, your home relationships. Maybe it is that you really want to love again. However, you just have lost all confidence in yourself. You're not feeling healthy. You're not feeling good about yourself. And also, you keep choosing the wrong type of person. You keep repeating that same pattern over and over again, thinking that maybe this time it will be different. Or maybe you keep going back to the same person, knowing that they're not okay for you. Do you find that you're feeling guilty, even at the thought of moving forward and being happy again in your life? Maybe you think this is just your lot and I better just settle for it. Who am I to think that I could truly be happy again, that I could truly find love again or be successful again? Do you find now that you are so stuck? It feels as though your life has come to a complete halt. You're frozen in some way and you do not know which way to turn. You want to move forward, but you've got no idea how to do it and you're too scared to even try. Well, if any of these sound like you, then I've got some good news for you. They're not the real problem. They're only symptoms of the problem. The real problem is that you haven't yet made the shifts. Now, what do I mean by these shifts? Well, I'm going to go into more detail about what these deep internal shifts are. However, once you make them, you will have more clarity on what it is that you want for your life, and more importantly, you'll know exactly why you want it. You would have developed a deep personal confidence and certainty in yourself again. You will know who you are, and the decisions that you make will be made with more certainty, especially those decisions around your finances, your relationships, your career, your future. You will now enjoy going out again, starting to socialize, getting excited about life again, meeting up with your friends, and also being excited about the possibility of what your future holds for you. Also, once you make these shifts, you're going to have a deeper self-respect, one so much so that you're going to take better care of your physical body. You'll be in great health again and have a body that you are proud of. You are also going to now enjoy your relationships and intimacy on a much deeper level because you're going to have the confidence to just show up as your true, authentic self. And if you want to find love again, then you will now have the confidence to make better choices. Once you make these shifts, you're going to know what it feels like to have reached your highest potential, because you're no longer going to be held back by those limiting beliefs that have stopped you in the past, like guilt or shame, fear of failure, fear of success even. You will now know what it feels like to live a life of fulfillment, meaning, and purpose again. Now, before I get into more detail about these shifts, let me just take a second of your time to let you know a bit more about who I am and why you're going to get value out of listening to this presentation today. Well, as I've already said, my name is Tanya Unkovich. I'm an international speaker, a published author. I'm a personal and business mentor. Now, it all started in the finance department for me. In fact, I'm an accountant by trade, but because of the adversities that I have had to face in my life, in fact, I like to say the adversities that I have been blessed with, I went out and studied to be a therapist and then a life coach. And I even threw personal training in there. Now, over the past 30 years, I have coached and consulted to hundreds of clients. Now, I've got many areas that I work in, but my specialty areas are all about mastering resilience and overcoming adversity in your life so that you can move forward and make a massive personal transformation in many areas, such as your health, your relationships, and even your business. Now, I am a weekly contributor to national radio stations, and I'm currently writing another book about resilience. Now, people talk about me as being more than just a mentor. Well, it's because that when we work in one area of your life, then every area of your life begins to change. Now, this is a wonderful memory for me with Dr. Robert Schuller when I was invited to go to California and appear on The Hour of Power. I was interviewed on the books that I had just published about how to come back even stronger after adversity. So this most definitely was a magic moment for me. being interviewed by the wonderful Dr. Robert SCHULLER. Now, let me get further into these shifts and give you all of the information that you are waiting to hear. Now, let me start talking to you about the shifts. What do I mean by shifts? Well, they are the deep internal changes that we need to make, that you need to make if you want to make change in your life once and for all. Now, in spite of the many adversities that I'd had to go through in my life, the biggest one was when I was 40. My husband, Phil, was diagnosed with cancer and he passed away 5 months later. Now, this was the biggie in my life. In spite of everything else that I'd had to go through, this was when I really had to delve deep and apply these shifts in my life in order to come back with meaning and purpose and once again find a reason for being here. Now, these are the 5 shifts that over the last 30 to 40 years I have noticed are the actions that need to be taken in order to get from where you are now to where you want to be. I noticed that it worked in my life, and then I started sharing these shifts with my clients, and they too then started getting the results that they wanted. They too then started having lasting change and began living their life to their highest potential. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through all of these 5 shifts on this session so that you can get an idea on those things that you need to do in order to overcome this adversity and bounce back stronger than before. Now, the first one is that, well, you've got to be ready for change. You need to be decisive and you need to get to a point where you say, well, enough is enough. Now, in order to get there, sometimes it means you've got to ask yourself some big questions like, well, where are you now? How's it going? How is your life really going? Are you where you want to be? If not, why not? Where do you really want to be? Now, when you ask these big questions, this is when you get honest and go, oh, things aren't really working. Maybe what I'm doing is not working. It's about accepting that what you're doing up until now isn't working and that perhaps you now need to try a new approach. You do whatever it takes. It does mean, however, getting to a point of being willing, being ready and willing to make a change. So are you there yet? And also, maybe ask yourself the question, what will it cost you if you don't take action right now? How will your life be, let's say, in 6 months' time or 12 months' time, or even as close as 3 months' time if you don't take any action now? The thing is, we are fortunate that happiness is a choice. However, so is suffering, and it can be so easy to make an excuse and stay into a place of suffering. Now, this is where many people go, oh, but I've got so many reasons why I can't do this right now, that I can't make this decision. Well, the thing is, I'm going to invite you to believe that, well, yes, maybe now is your time. Maybe now, yes, you do have what it takes to take ownership of your life, now and the future. Yes, maybe you can now listen to your own voice, instead of what everyone else is saying around you and what you believe you should be doing. It does mean getting out of that comparison trap and not comparing yourself to what other people are doing or how far other people have come and look, maybe I'm still stuck. The thing is, once you stop comparing and make the decision that now is your time to move forward, then you'll stop judging yourself and you'll stop comparing yourself. You will in fact give yourself the freedom just to be you. Now, as an example, when I was widowed at 40, I made the decision that I wasn't going to stay in a victim mode. I made the decision that I was going to take responsibility for my life. Now, it didn't mean that grief wasn't there. It meant that grief still was there, but I also allowed joy in. I also allowed excitement in, excitement of the possibility of a future for me. And I started building that future soon because what was my alternative? I was either going to stay in suffering or I was going to choose to have happiness in my life as well. So you do not have to stay stuck and be a victim if you have been through an adversity in your life. No matter what it is, you do have the freedom to make a choice to live. So in doing this, in making this final decision, it's about accepting, it's about blowing every myth out there and saying and accepting that, well, yes, I do have the time. Yes, you do deserve this. And yes, you can do this. Once you make a decision, you can do anything. You will start focusing on that outcome. And yes, it is about time to give yourself permission to move forward, because maybe now it is your time. Maybe now it is the time to say yes to you. So now this is where I'm going to share with you the story of my client Lois, who came to me when she knew that things were not going well in her life. There were many areas that she wanted to look at, her health and her profession. But she also knew that it came at a point to where she had to get honest and make the decision that now she had to move forward and stop making the excuses. So as a result of working together, Lois had the courage to dig deep, give herself the gift of time, and to doing this for herself. And as a result, there were magnificent changes in every area of your life. And as you can see in the right-hand photo, she's looking considerably fitter and stronger. But she's also had massive change in her professional life and has been promoted and now feels that she is living with more meaning and purpose. It did, however, mean it had to start with a decision. Now, one of the other things that Lois had to do, and it is in fact the second shift, is to accept that maybe the solution isn't out there. Maybe the solution is within. You see, lasting change, it actually happens from the inside out. Many people believe that, well, maybe if only I lost weight, I'd be happy. Maybe if only I was in a relationship that was fulfilling, then I'd be happy. Maybe if I had X amount of money in the bank, then I would be happy. However, what that does is it just sets up this cycle of going outside of yourself the whole time. It's called jumping from one shiny thing to another. You know, that new shiny object that makes you feel good very shortly. It does give you a bit of an adrenaline hit, doesn't it? But only for a little bit, because you fall very quickly. So I'm going to invite you in this second shift to say no more to those quick fixes, those fast action programs that are going to give you an immediate result within days or weeks. The answers are, in fact, within you. As an example, I'm not sure if you've been to a big event where there are many, many people, thousands of people in fact, and you're there for 2 or 3 days. It's very hyped up. There's loads of music. You're running on adrenaline, not enough sleep, and you get into this heightened state. And then when you get home from the event, you're still up there for a little bit, and then you drop. And then you notice that whatever change you've made at the event, it's slowly starting to disappear, and you're going back to the same patterns of behavior again. Now, the thing is, what you want to do is measure your progress, not perfection. So many people think, right, I'm cured, I'm fixed while they're at this event, and then when it goes, then they just completely go back into this place of, I'm no good, nothing is changed. And that is the truth. Nothing changes when nothing changes. However, the answer is to do the work daily, consistently. Don't just go out there and try and get a quick fix, something that is going to make you feel good for 5 minutes. But what has happened is that you haven't done that internal work that leads to transformation. So I'm going to invite you to maybe know that even though Google can give you all of the information that you need, what you want long-term is transformation. So you say, okay, well, what do I do then? How do I have this lasting transformation? Well, it does mean creating a winning identity, having a strong personal foundation of who you are is the answer to everything. This is what is going to build resilience when life happens, because life will happen as it always does. Things are smooth sailing for a while, but then there's a bump in the road, the speed bump as we call it, and it throws us off. However, if you've got this strong personal sense of self, then you will be able to get through anything in life. You see, when you get yourself together, then your whole world will come together. So I'm going to invite you not to start looking outside of yourself for the solution, but look within, because if you do not go within, then eventually you will go without. Now let me take you through the third shift, which is to use the core strategy. Now, what is the core strategy? Well, it is about taking intelligent, inspired action But also measuring and managing the numbers that matter, measuring the results that matter, measuring those results that are going to show you that you are building this strong personal identity and building a future, building a meaning and purpose in the life that you are wanting. It means looking at these areas of your life, these 5 pillars of resilience, of your physical health, your emotional fitness, your emotional strength, your resilience in the area of your career, your profession, your finances, looking at resilience in your relationships, both your professional relationships and your personal intimate relationships, looking at the area of resilience with a vision. What is your vision for your life, your deep spiritual life? So these are the areas where I invite you to look at whilst you're working this 3rd shift, the core strategy, and measuring the results that matter. It is very easy to get stuck in that old way of doing things where we are instructed to follow this and follow that and measure this and measure that. You know, for example, if you are looking at health, all of these quick fix diets that are out there, or if you need to change your health and get into optimal health, you get pushed into exercise regimes that are just all quick fixes, or maybe you're trying to get through a bereavement and you want to love again, or your relationship is broken up. But so often these quick fixes, they just send you back into that spiral of believing, am I good enough? And the other thing in the old way, when you don't measure the results that matter, is you never feel fulfilled, and you tend to just hop from one job to another or one profession to another without really knowing what you really want for your life. And of course, there's always those quick fix finance schemes that are out there that tempt you to have this instant gratification. But the thing is, all of this old way quick fix stuff, it just sends you into a spiral of asking yourself that question the whole time, but which one will work for me? And of course, when you are stuck in the old way and you're tempted with that quick fix solution, then yes, you may try it and you'll have some controlled temporary changes that will give you that adrenaline high. However, life will happen, work happens, things happen, and that then just throws you back into that old way of coping with things, and you start looking at your results and you forget about the progress that you've made. You then get angry at yourself. You feel shame and embarrassment that once again you've got back into that old spiral of doing things without looking for a deep transformation. And then what you do is you go back out there and you start looking for another quick fix. You're looking for more information instead of going deep, instead of looking at what really matters and using this strategy to build that deep personal foundation so that you can then start measuring the results that matter. Now, the new way is very different. You know, I call it a bit of a secret weapon, actually, this core strategy. The new way is that, well, you know with certainty and clarity on who you are and what it is that you want in your life and why you want it. You're going to have that strong personal foundation, this identity, this state that you know will get you through life. Not only get you through this recent adversity, but it will help you along your way to live that life of purpose again. And what this will do, it will enable you to always focus on your outcome and measure the right results. And if you need to make a change, then you will take intelligent, inspired action to look for another way of doing things if you are not getting the result that you want at the moment. And the thing is, life happens. When life happens and things show up, then you will show up. You will show up this person who is resourceful, this person who has a belief in themselves, this person that knows that they're not going to go back and start doing things the old way. They have a new way. They have a new solution. They have a new proven way of doing things from now on, from this day forward. Okay, I've already talked to you about the first 3 shifts and I've given you quite a lot of information, so I'm going to now do a quick recap for you before I go on to the final 2 shifts. Number 1, well, it means making the decision. Are you now ready and willing to make a change in your life? Because now is the time. Well, what's going to happen if you do not make this decision? How will life be for you in 6 months' time, knowing that doing the same thing over and over again is going to give you the same result? So, number one shift, make the decision. Get honest about how life really is for you now and how it will be if you do not make the decision to solve that problem. Number two, lasting change. It starts within. Go within. Use your spiritual life, the strength that you know that you can get when you completely surrender, when you hang on to that belief, that faith that you have got. And number three, use that core strategy of focusing on your outcome and measuring the results that matter. So often we get tied up in those unimportant results. Measure what matters, but focus on what it is that you really, really want. Now, the fourth shift is very much about trusting yourself, believing in yourself, and you now becoming the expert of you, so that when you leap and step out of your comfort zone, you will have complete faith that the net will appear. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, it means that so often we are stuck in fear, right? However, when we make the decision to move from fear into faith and to start listening to our own instinct, then creation begins. What we are meant to be doing in this life and who we are meant to be begins to happen naturally. You start removing all of the blocks, and once these blocks are removed, instead of being in this place of force, flow then moves in. Things change. You start doing things differently. You start noticing things. You end up not tolerating some of the things that you once used to tolerate in your life because you now believe in yourself. You are now the expert of you. So I'm going to invite you now to stop doubting yourself and start believing in yourself and being open to the fact that there is a purpose for you in your life, a bigger picture. So much of this, though, means that we start trusting our instinct, that hunch inside. We've got this belief, this truth that we so often don't follow. We tend to listen to all of the noise that's around us. So this is now the step where you begin to absolutely follow your truth, follow your instinct, because deep down, you know more about you than anyone else does. So it's about reclaiming that back again and starting to use this most valuable tool that you have. You becoming the expert of you. Now, it does mean, of course, following your instinct and then going deeper into those questions. What do I really want for my life? Once you remove yourself from all of that external noise, you've been through all of these other shifts, and you get to a point where you start now quietly moving through life and trusting yourself, not listening to all of that noise around you. You then stop and listen. And you follow your instinct when you make your decisions with certainty from now on. This is an incredibly powerful tool when you begin using it and using it every single day of your life from now on. A perfect example of this is when you are dating again. How many times have I heard people say to me, if only I followed my instinct, I wouldn't have gone there. I wouldn't have spent so much time in this relationship, or I would have left earlier. I've heard it so many times. What about you? How many times have you tolerated things for way too long, and then in hindsight, you've said to yourself, gosh, I wish I listened to my instinct? Now let me introduce you to one of my clients, KIRSTYN. Now this is a photograph of KIRSTYN and I around the time when we first started working together. Now KIRSTYN was missing out a lot in life because she knew that she wasn't following her heart. She knew she wasn't following this dream that she had for herself in her life, and she was tolerating things really from within and around her that normally she would not have. But she'd lost that much confidence in herself that she just started being a bit of a yes person. Anyway, she made the decision, no more. I have to make a change for myself. Enough is enough. And she took charge of many areas of her life. She looked at those areas of resilience. She stopped making excuses. She stopped making that big excuse that maybe this is my lot in life and there's no other future for me. Well, she began working on her mindset. She began working on her health. She started looking at other things she can do in her career. And now Well, you can see the physical transformation there. She's now doing things that she loves. She's in a job that she loves. She has a closer relationship with friends and family. The transformation for KIRSTYN was both external and internal. So congratulations, KIRSTYN, for making the decision and having the courage to decide for you. The fifth and the most important shift to help you get through this adversity and to now live a life of meaning and purpose is to invest in mentoring. Now, what mentoring is all about is about lasting change. It is what provides you with that transformation in life over and above just having a quick fix. You see, mentoring, it helps you change from the inside out. Now, no matter who you are, no matter who we all are, we're all human beings on this journey of life, and we all need mentoring. Even the greatest athletes, even the greatest mentors and teachers, even the greatest teams. It is a coach, it is a mentor that helps them see things that maybe we can't see, that maybe they can't see. It's like having someone on your shoulder noticing what is going on for you as you are living this thing called life. Now, the thing is, the cost of doing it alone without a mentor means that nothing changes when nothing changes. And you keep making these tiny little mistakes or keep doing these small things that eventually add up into big problems. It's just like unconsciously spending $20 per day, say it ends up being $8,000 per year. That's just gone and you don't know where it's gone. You see, you don't know what you don't know, whereas the right mentor, they will see your blind spots. They will see things that are going on for you, those limiting beliefs that you cannot see yourself. And the other costs of doing it alone is that you will continue to search for the quickest, easiest solution from the outside in. And you will continue to make decisions from a place of uncertainty and fear, both in your professional life and your personal life. And the thing is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you do something in a disempowering way or in a disempowered state, then this will also rub off into every other area of your life. Whereas the right mentor by your side, they will be operating from a place of total honesty. You see, they are going to be focused on you. They're going to become your most trusted advisor, and you will build such a relationship with them that they'll be able to tell you how it is. You see, their focus will be totally on supporting you as you deal with life, as you deal with what comes up for you when life happens, and life will happen. This diagram is a wonderful illustration of how the value of mentoring helps you not only with your clarity and helping you to look at these beliefs that are stopping you and keeping you accountable and just keeping you on the right track with the right actions. But of course, every single day, they will help you with your beliefs about yourself and your beliefs about life itself. At the beginning of today's presentation, I promised that once you made these shifts, you were going to have more clarity on what it was that you wanted for your life and why you wanted it. You were now going to have this personal confidence and certainty in yourself again, be able to answer that big question, who am I and where am I going? And all the decisions that you make from now on will be made with more certainty, particularly to do with your finances, your relationships, your future. I also promised that you were going to start enjoying going out again, getting excited about your life. I also promised that once you made these shifts, you would have a better self-respect for yourself. You would take better care of your body, be in great health and great shape again. I also promised that you were now going to be able to enjoy your relationships on a much deeper level, enjoy intimacy on a deeper level. And if it is love that you are wanting now at this stage of your life, you will be able to make better choices and show up as your true, authentic self. I also promised that once you made these shifts, you were going to know what it feels like to reach your highest potential and not be held back by those things that have held you back in the past. I also promised that your life from now on would be one of fulfillment, purpose, and meaning. And in order to have all of these things, what you needed was to, number one, decide for change. Number 2, go within, because that's where the answers are. As you then get specific on what it is that you want, as you look at those outcomes, those pillars of resilience, to master those and then start following your instinct, to be your own expert, and of course, to invest in mentoring. Now, these 5 shifts alone are enough to help you come back even stronger after this recent experience, this adversity, and reinvent yourself, regain control of your life again. Now you have a choice. Now what you can do with all of this information that I have just given you, these shifts that can help you change your life completely, you can look at them and go, well, thank you very much. I'm happy for that, but I'm not quite ready for this right now. It looks fabulous, but I'm not ready to move. I haven't decided yet. I don't know if this will work for me. And if that is the decision that you make, then the truth is nothing will change, because nothing changes if you change nothing. And you will still stay stuck. You will still be unfulfilled and fearful of what comes next for you in your life. However, if you do make the choice that you are going to use these shifts and implement them in your life because you want to move forward, you want to be the best version of you that you can be, you want to live the life that you know that you deserve, then this is how I can help you. Now, my team and I, we've set aside some time over the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can start applying all of these shifts, these ideas, into your life today. Now, whatever your challenges are, I've seen it, or I've probably already experienced it myself, and I know how to overcome it. Now, what will happen is we will get on the phone with you for about 45 minutes, and on this session, we're going to work together to craft out a step-by-step plan on how we can help you to finally feel in control of your life, reinvent yourself, and then have clarity on where it is that you want to go and how, of course, you can get there. Now, the cost of this telephone call will be free. Now, who is this call for? It's not for everyone, you see. However, if you are now sick and tired of being stuck in your life, and you now know and believe that now is your time for change, that you cannot wait any longer, you know that you are resourceful, that you're coachable, and that you are now committed to being who you now know you can be in order to live the kind of life that you really want. If you now want to live to a higher standard, to show up differently in your life, well, if that is you, then book a session now. Now, many people ask me, why am I doing this? Well, the reason I do this is because I know your pain. I've been there. I also know what life is like on the other side after dealing with this, and with all of these years and many dollars and many resources spent in getting this right. I know that I have got something back to give. You see, I've spent many years coaching people, and I see the same painful patterns repeating themselves. Plus, I know and have experienced the value of having the right mentor, and that you now might be ready to step up, and that you may want my help to help you transform your life. So, if so, then we can discuss this and see if it is a good fit for both of us. Now, if it is, then that is fabulous, but if not, then that is fine too. We would have had a great talk. Now, if you would like to speak to me, then simply book a call. Here is the link that you go to, tanyaunkovich.co.nz/talk. Or you can also see this little icon on your screen now that you can just push, and that will also take you through to my booking page. Now, once you get through to my booking page, all you need to do is select a time that suits you, fill in the appropriate details, and then book the call. Now, by doing this, I will have a little bit of an idea of what it is exactly that you need help with, and that way I can prepare before I give you a call. So, once you have made the booking, all you need to do is simply wait for my call. So again, you can either push that button that is on the screen now, or go to the link, tanyaunkovich.co.nz/talk, and that will take you straight through to my booking page. But the easiest thing to do is just push that little icon that's on the screen right now. Go to the booking page, put your name, phone number, very important, and a little bit about how I can help you on this call. And then all you do is wait for my call. Okay, it has been my absolute pleasure being on this presentation with you today. I trust that I have served you. I trust that you have taken a lot away from this presentation, and I really hope to speak to you again soon. Meanwhile, have a wonderful day. Wishing you all the best. Bye for now.